Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Elish and I talk about self-development, study abroad and career building in this channel. I also have occasionally some student vlogs and just vlogs from Warsaw, but my channel is really focused about giving you knowledge and teaching you something that you will actually benefit from this one. So today we are going to be talking about self-development, which is the main topic of this channel. And I would like to really discover and show you what is self-development, and I would really like to show you what is self-development and what it isn't, because everyone is talking about self-development, and when they're talking about self-development they just talk about their goals, but really self-development is not about achieving some goal but rather developing yourself so you become a better form of yourself. But before really starting with all these steps to how to self-develop yourself, I would like to start with a personal story of mine, and also while talking about self-development I'll also give you examples from my life that how I'm developing myself and also how I was doing it in the past. Let's go. A few years back I was feeling like I was stuck in one place. I wasn't able to move to some other place that I would really feel comfortable with. And I was studying international relations and economics, and I wasn't really comfortable with that one because I felt like it wasn't giving me too much of career prospects. So because of that I was feeling really stuck and I was looking for different things, I was learning different skills and so on. But in the meantime I was also thinking in an end goal mindset, that I was thinking, okay, I will achieve something, or I will be the best student, or I don't know, like I'll become rich or something like this, right? But after some time I realized it's not about the end goals, because end goals are temporary. You might have so many goals. At some point in your life you achieve certain goal, then you move on to a different one. And for that goal alone, it's not really important that what kind of things you do, but it's more important that how you develop yourself generally, that you can utilize this in the rest of your life so you can achieve any goal at any time you want. So that's my personal understanding about this one. And when I was trying to become a data analyst, I was really generalizing that I want to become the best data analyst and so on, but these are really general goals. So you should focus more on specific things. You should do something more specific, and you should know how to measure your goals and so on, which I'll be talking about that in a minute. Now let's dive into this 5 life-changing steps of self-development, that how can you possibly develop yourself and be really strong about this one. First step is an in-depth self-assessment, because many people try to fix their mistakes or try to do something better, but in reality what happens is that they don't even know themselves what are their actual weaknesses and how they can possibly overcome these weaknesses, because usually those weaknesses stay with you forever, and those weaknesses are the ones that causes you to lose or not to succeed. So I'll give you this example from my previous channel, because in my Azerbaijan channel I have a huge audience, and like I have more than 10,000 subscribers, and I talk to a lot of students who are trying to get into the university, and they were trying to get an advice from me and asking, how can I possibly get high scores, or I'm failing this and that, I study a lot but it doesn't work, how can I possibly achieve better? Most of them don't realize that studying more, or let's say devoting more time to something, doesn't mean anything unless you really get rid of certain weaknesses that you have. Let's say if you have problems with your attention, first of all you need to get rid of that attention disorder problem, that you can possibly focus on something for a longer time, so you can actually, when you're reading, you will be able to absorb the information rather than just reading it senselessly. So that's the one important point. This is just an example that I'm giving you. That's why you need to do some kind of self-assessment. You need to understand where you made the mistake and why that mistake occurred. What is the characteristic, or what is the habit that you are repeating that's really causing that mistake? So you should really understand this point in the beginning. Once you understand that, you will be able to go through the next steps, and you will understand what's your weakness. You can just get rid of that weakness, or just develop some habits that will avoid that weakness. And in this way, you will be able to succeed, and you will be able to use your new habits for new goals. So every time you want to achieve a new goal, you will just use your strengths, and because you don't have any more weakness, you can actually succeed. And I would really suggest you to understand your own personality, because certain personality types have certain weaknesses. For example, you can do Myers-Briggs test. I think it's also called 16 personalities test. So such tests would really help you to understand what are your weaknesses, or you can look at your past mistakes or past failures, and based on that one you can kind of create a summary of what are your weaknesses, and you can start working on them. Next most important step for me is to set up the realistic yet exciting goals. Because I know a lot of people who set up amazing goals and their goals are really big, they can achieve really big things, but at the same time, they don't set up the right goals and they don't set up the realistic goals, and that's why they end up failing their goals and they don't really continue with their goal that they had in mind in the beginning. So that's why you need to be really specific. You need to be able to measure how you're progressing towards your success, how much time you spend on such things. And personally, for me, the most important and I would say the most useful framework that I've been using in my life has been the SMART framework. I don't know if you heard about this one, but SMART framework is really, really useful in terms of setting up the goals. It's been used in organizations, it's been used for a lot of personal reasons and so on. And SMART, the word SMART itself, it's an abbreviation, and it starts with specific, measurable, attainable, or achievable, depending on like where you're reading about SMART framework. It needs to be relevant, and finally, it needs to be time bound. And now let's deep dive into SMART framework and let's understand how can you really make your goals SMART. First of all, specific. Picture this. 2 years ago, I was dreaming of becoming data analyst, but that was too broad, like saying I want to find treasure. I need to pinpoint the treasure's location, so I refined my goal to I want to learn Power BI and SQL proficiently. Suddenly, my treasure had an address. Next, it needs to be measurable. How do you know if you're getting closer to your treasure? Of course, by marking the milestones. I set a measurable aspect. I will complete 2 modules of Power BI course a week, and each practice was a step closer to my goal. Then, achievable. It's like knowing you can sail to your treasure, not just wishing you had wings to fly there. I asked myself, is learning all technologies feasible for me? To be honest, it wasn't. I scaled back and I started aiming first for the essential tools. So achievable steps are the key. Fourth, it needs to be relevant. Your treasure should be something that you truly desire. It needs to be relevant to your general goal. For me, Power BI and SQL were relevant and valuable in being a data analyst. It was a treasure that was worth pursuing. Finally, it needs to be time-bound. A treasure hunt without a timeline could take forever. Setting a deadline, like I will start making my first dashboards in 2 months, gave me a sense of urgency and focus. So you can set up some fake deadlines to pursue your goal in a time-bound manner. So you can use the SMART framework to set up your goals and complete them in timely manner. Okay, let's move on to the next step. Next step is about continuous learning. Because once you're learning something, it doesn't mean that your journey is ending there, so you should be always going for more. So you should strive to learn more and more, and you should go for the continuous learning. Because the knowledge that you are learning today is probably going to be outdated in a few months or maybe a few years' time. So you should always keep yourself up to date and you should always learn as much as possible. And also, second thing about continuous learning is that you should not only stick to one place of learning, and you should rather use different sources of learning for yourself to really get different perspectives. And based on this one, you can really be knowledge rich and you will really know yourself that where you are developing, and maybe someone is saying something that can really work for you, but another one is saying something better, or maybe someone's solution is not working for you. For example, when I was learning Python, it wasn't working for me to just watch one person and just get all the guidance from that person. I was reading different sources, or I was just watching some different videos, and based on this one, I was getting different perspectives of how to solve certain problems in Python. And with this way, I was able to, speed up my problem solving process, and I was able to get like different expertise. So I knew a couple of different ways to solve a problem, and I was picking up the one that was really fitting for me. And that's why you need to have like continuous journey, and you should really have this desire to learn more and more all the time. And that's really important in self-development because, again, as I was saying in the beginning of this video, self-development is not just about the goal, but it is a continuous process, it's a journey. And that's why continuous learning and improvement is really part of the self-development, and it's a never-ending process. So it's gonna continue till the end of your life, until you say, I'm gonna be retired, I'm just gonna sit at home, I'm just gonna just take my coffee and read some books. So up until that point, you really need to develop yourself and you need to embrace the continuous learning. Fourth step, which is a really important step, but I'm always struggling with this one, is to build a strong support system. So when you're trying to develop yourself, of course, you might not stick to the schedule, or you might not be fully in discipline. You might lose your motivation while you're developing yourself. There might be a lot of barriers, but it's really important to hang out and have the people around you that's in the same kind of mindset just like you are, so you can actually make use of their opinion and make use of their encouragement, and they can really keep you under the check, and it can really help you to go and move forward. And when you're hanging out with like-minded people, it can really help you also to learn different perspectives from them, so how they're dealing with their problems, how they're dealing with the similar problems that you are having, and it can really help you with building that strong support system, and that will help you sustain your self-development journey longer. And I think it can make you even more stronger, because you will get different perspectives and continuous learning and continuous commitment, most importantly. Okay, my battery ran out for a while, so I had to change my battery. I hope the shot is more or less the same, but let's move on to the fifth and final step. Fifth and final step is regular reflection and agile adaptation. What do I mean by that? So you should regularly reflect on your progress, and you should really understand how you're progressing, what kind of things you're doing, and if you're actually, taking some distance, like if you have actually passed some distance to your goal. And that's really important, because if you're doing certain thing and if it is not effective and if it doesn't show any effect in your self-development process, that means that you're making a mistake somewhere. So you should always go back and really fix that mistake, that wherever you're making that mistake in your self-development journey, that you can really fix it in the earlier stages, so you won't face it in the later stages, and you can actually record some progress much easier, so you won't lose your motivation or lose your habits of discipline and so on. So this is really important. And when I'm saying agile adaptation, and this is really about the fixing and getting and adopting the new methods for your self-development. When you're self-developing, of course, you're going to face some barriers. Something is not going to work for you, just like I was telling you about my Python experience. One instructor's, maybe speech, maybe the way of explanation wasn't really working for me. And I was going onto YouTube, I was just like reading Stack Overflow, or I was just reading some Python documentation that was really helping me understand deeper into the concepts, and I was able to do them much better, right? So this is the form of adaptation that you should really, wherever you see a mistake, you should go back and fix it and continue your journey. This is really important, and this can really boost your journey and take you to the next level of self-development, that you will keep yourself on check. And this kind of corresponds to the measurable part of SMART goals, because you will kind of measure yourself that if you're actually recording some progress or not. So this is really important. Definitely keep this in mind and regularly reflect on yourself, and definitely adapt based on the new barriers, and I'm sure you will succeed. And that was all the 5 goals. I hope this video was really helpful to you, because I was trying to share my experience with my personal stories, that how I'm actually doing it in my life and how I was doing it in the past. I hope you can benefit from this video. If you did so, don't forget to subscribe and like this video. And if you can share this channel with your friends, I'll be really grateful, so I can reach 1,000 subscribers very soon. And I really want to take this channel to the next level, to help you much better and to give you more sources to develop yourself in anything. It might be about your academic life, it might be about your career life and anything else. But here I am, I'm with you, and just let's take this channel to the next level. Let's develop this channel. So that was all. Have a good day, and I will come back with next more important videos, and that can really benefit you. See you in the next videos. Bye.